In Louisiana, where people are awaiting the U.S. Justice Department's decision on the fatal police shooting of Alton Sterling last year. Sometime this week, the Justice Department will decide if the two Baton Rouge police officers who shot and killed Sterling last July committed federal civil rights violations. Now, the two officers are on leave right now. If you remember last spring, the shooting sparked violent protests for days, and 3 weeks later, 3 police officers were killed. Community leaders are calling for peace in anticipation of the announcement. All right, let's get back to our panel here. Brandon Cooper, I'll start with you. Do you think that you have any expectations of Jeff Sessions in this Justice Department?
And it's not just Jeff Sessions. I know we like to, play partisan politics, but it's any Justice Department. There's been over 700 shootings, for example, in Chicago in the last 15 years. 0 federal charges. And so I don't think it's any party that's, responsible, I guess, for the lack of action, but I know I have low expectations that'll come through, and actually I'm hoping that, we're on the defensive. We wait until there's a dead body that we are able to take action. I'm hopeful that in addition to that, we need to have, aggressiveness on that side, but also some proactiveness so that we're reforming these police departments in advance to prevent these types of accidents that are coming.
There's a difference between the lack of federal charges and no action by the Justice Department. Having federal charges is a very, very high bar. You have to prove that the intent of the police officer at the time was specifically based on the race of the person. And it's very hard to get into that mind of the person unless they say something that suggests that. But there have been several consent decrees that were brought under the Obama Justice Department that have now been rolled back by the Sessions Justice Department. And so my expectations for this Justice Department is zero, zilch, nada.
And if I can add to that, there's been 17 actually under Obama. And so there are 20,000 police departments in this country, and we're waiting on 17 consent decrees. Again, it's a tool that we can use.
That have now been rolled back. That are now being rolled back.
But again,
17 is better than 0.
It is better than 0, but I'm saying but to address the problem that we have, which you all agree there's a problem with police in this country, we need to think of an effect that's going to be more than less than 1%.
And so what is Sessions doing besides rolling back?
I'm not here to
We're going to get to all that and continue our conversation, but we have a guest joining us via FaceTime from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, State Representative C. Denise Marcel. Are you there for us?
Yes, how are you this morning?
Also with us from Baton Rouge is Arthur Reed. He's the Sterling family representative and began the organization Stop the Killing. Representative, I want to start with you. Have you heard anything at all from the Justice Department, even informally?
No, I have not. And that really concerns me and other leaders in the city that we have not had any communication with them, just that it's imminent, that the decision will be coming down soon. And really, it has the city on edge.
Arthur Reed, you agree that the city is on edge regarding this result?
Absolutely. Because there are rumors, and none of them can be confirmed of when it's actually going to happen. We have children that are testing this week, and that's a real problem.
What has happened to the police officers involved in the months since this case broke?
To my knowledge, they've just been placed on paid administration, and nothing has happened to them.
They've been on paid administrative leave all this time?
Absolutely.
And have not gotten back on the streets at all?
Not to my knowledge.
All right. What would you like to see out of Washington on this?
Well, I think I heard it from one of your previous people speaking on this issue. I don't believe that we're going to see anything different than the trend that's going around the country. I would really love to see them pass it down to our state attorney general and then for him to prosecute criminally. I don't believe that the expectation is so high when it comes to justice. I don't believe that they're going to be able to get into the minds of the officer of the state to violate its civil rights.
I want to transition over to Arthur Reed, who again was one of the founders of the group Stop the Killing. And can you talk a little bit about the mood of the community and what you've seen in the several months since this happened?
It's a very eerie move here. People are scared, and I think this is almost like an old school game of craps where they're laying the dice, and we know the dice have to come out, but they haven't made a shot yet. So we're waiting vigorously to see what this Justice Department have to say. But I feel the same way that your guests feel, and I feel the same way that Marcel feels, that this Justice Department has been the most unjust department for blacks here in America, and we just don't have a lot of faith in them at all.
Are you concerned that the violence could return if this doesn't turn out the way you want it to?
Violence, when you say violence return, the only people that was violence was the police against the protesters here. So yes, I'm concerned about that. But protesters being violent, we didn't see any protesters being violent here in Baton Rouge. We've seen a very peaceful protest. We've seen a very well organized protest, and unfortunately, we have the keys here to prep the battlefield, either for cooperation or for dialogue, or either for violence. And I'm just waiting to see how this turns out. I think that this can be a very well organized chain of events if they allow it to, but unfortunately, some of us, even in our community now, are speaking the language of the individuals who are doing these brutal acts by saying we can't allow outsiders to come in. And this is not a Baton Rouge issue. This is a United States issue. When you wake up and see a 15-year-old have been murdered by police, this is happening all over the country, and we have to be strong enough to say what it is and get out of that scared mode that we're in and fight this battle. We've been fighting this battle for a long time, so this is not a new civil rights movement. This is a continuation of the struggle that we've been in for the past 47 years.
Absolutely.
All right, Arthur Reed, founder of Stop the Killing, and Jasmine and State Representative C. Denise Marcel, thank you for your time this morning. I can see my panel nodding their heads vigorously to what you're saying over here, Dr. Avis James DeWeaver.
Yes. Yeah, well, they're exactly right. And what's really sad is I was also disturbed when I heard some of the individuals saying, you know, we don't want to have outside agitators reflecting basically the racist talking points that we've heard for decades. We know exactly what's going on here. It's a continuation of violence that we've seen across the country.
But where is our presidential leadership here, right? This is where you expect your president to come out to have some sort of leadership to show that, hey, you know, we're not going to allow for our communities to be put under threat. We're not going to allow for Justice Department to make the community feel unsafe. And where is that? I really do wonder about that.
No, that is lacking. I hope you guys are not expecting that to come in the next under this administration. And I agree. That's right. I agree. Let me add this point. Again, I have Democrats to my left and right. You know, I know you guys want to make this a political point, but again, if this is an issue about the black community and about saving our lives, again, even under President Obama, you said that 17 is better than nothing. That is 0.0008%. Hold on, let me finish. Stop. Let me. But I'm saying, but the way, but they're saying again.
Okay, wait a second. Let him finish.
0.0008%. What I'm saying is the focus, as the representative said, should not be on the federal government to come in because it's not their role in the first place. Let me finish. I agree, but I'm saying even the representative said herself that she hopes that it goes back to the state for this case because guys,
how much of this goes back to the idea, however, that justice is not always what we want it to be? Sometimes the Justice Department will say there's not enough evidence because there's not enough evidence. Don't you have to accept that as well?
If you believe that you have a fair Justice Department, there is no evidence to suggest that under Sessions, who some believe is a former Klansman, that we would actually get a fair Justice Department. We're seeing what's going down right now. We know what's happening with this budget that's basically getting ready to eviscerate the Civil Rights Department in the Justice Department. There is no expectation for justice under this administration or under Jeff Sessions.
On that note, we got to go to break.
Peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not going to let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this. If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.